Hi, this is CLEBER Lima, and I've worked doing some sketch card sets to Upper Deck Company, like Avengers, Age of Ultron, Punisher, Masterpieces 2020, and many others, and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast.
Hello, everybody. My name is Norn Rad, and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, your weekly digest of hobby goodness, brought to you by Marvel Cards Fan Collective, an awesome community of card collectors and creators. You can find our two groups on Facebook, details at the end of this podcast. Come check us out. With me, as always, is my co-pilot of all things Marvel cards. Let me paint you a picture. Spider-Man is on the rooftops. He hears a bank alarm off in the distance, ringing loudly. He sees a slim body in black jumper from rooftop to rooftop, leaping with no end. And all of a sudden, Spidey, with his webs shooting closer and closer, gets caught up with this black, slender, beautiful body. And he sees in the moonlight there a beautiful dome-shaped head. That's right. It's the master of invasion and collecting, Ian Taylor. Not terrible.
Oh, love it. I love it.
Yeah?
When you were saying leaping from rooftop to rooftop, in my head, I wanted you to include the words breasts akimbo, but for some reason you didn't.
Breast akimbo.
Yeah. I don't know why it just came into my head.
That is so strangely specific.
It is strangely specific, and it pretty much talks to the darkness in my mind. Hey, buddy, how are we doing?
Hey, buddy, we're doing good. I'm excited about today. We're talking about Spider-Man Metal Universe.
We are. I'm really. I didn't expect this announcement to drop this week. I knew it was coming.
Yep.
But I didn't know it was coming so soon. And I'm really digging it. Shall we tell folk what websites we're working from here, and then let's agree which one we're going to work to, because I can't find the sell sheet.
I figured I was trying to look for the sell sheet too. I think David Adams did a preview where they had the sell sheet, but currently, because they quote sold out end quote, they no longer have the listing of David Adams. But there is the checklist, which I believe we'll both be using, which is on cardboardconnection.com.
That's right. So let me just find this. Where are we? Cardboardconnection.com. Steel City often have it up there. Hang on a minute. Let me just quickly have a look at that. Mm-hmm. Steel City have the sell sheet. Right. I'm going to share screen.
I am going to see your sell sheet share screen.
There you go. So currently,
sexy. Blow that up, son.
I will blow it up. I'll blow it up, baby. Currently, Boom. This is scheduled. Well, I've seen one date of November and I've seen one date of December. But basically, tail end of this year, it looks like it's going to come out. Let me just, can you see that okay? Because that's as
they don't have no, that looks great. So they don't have a release date as of yet. They have a placeholder date of December 31st, 2021, which is what they normally do when they don't have a specific date as of yet.
Yeah.
We're imagining this is going to be released towards the end of the year. We imagine X-Men Metal will be released in October-ish, maybe sooner. Don't know.
On EPAC?
On EPAC?
Probably. Yeah.
Probably. That's around the fourth month. It's usually around 4 months after the physical release. Usually. That's not a hard date. That's just a thing. But Marvel Metal Universe says, Marvel Metal Universe Spider-Man trading card merges throwback inspiration with new thematic designs and technology to showcase fan favorite characters from the Marvel Spider-Man publishing universe. And it's pretty interesting. A lot of them now, what Upper Deck's doing with their language is they're talking about publishing universe as opposed to MCU universe, to talk about the difference between comic art and live action.
Interesting. Very interesting. Before we go any further, can I just talk? And I'm going to bring it up on screen. I want to talk about how good that logo is.
It's beautiful.
Isn't it stunning? You can see that.
Gorgeous.
Yeah? It's gorgeous. It's kind of they've done the web thing behind the metal thing, and this image was only available on Beckett. And Beckett seems to be down at the moment, so I'm glad I saved it. And it'll be in the header image for this episode.
Very cool.
I love it. Listen, I'm more Spider-Man than an X-Men kind of guy. So my tail is.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense. No, I think it's beautiful. I mean, I'm a huge X-Men guy myself, but I do have a character in here that I'm really hoping makes his way onto a PMG.
Yes.
I know. Looking for Spot. Looking for where the spot is. The mark of the spot.
I mean, now, so the one thing about this is that you never get the actual full checklist until pretty much the set's about to release. So
you won't know the characters included. That's why these cell sheets are so important. And always, as a little bit of a hint, make sure to look through all the pictures, because a lot of times the article doesn't feature every picture that's on the release. And the cell sheet does have a couple of mysteries and hidden secrets there in terms of cards that are not being shown on every cell sheet or site.
Yeah.
So that's why we're kind of breaking this down. Now, there is a lot of parallels between Metal and Spider-Man Metal, which is pretty exciting, but also new parallels too. So we're looking at this first sheet. And we're looking at 100 card base set with 100 card high series set.
Same as X-Men Metal. Yeah.
Same as X-Men Metal. So we're imagining, I don't know if you're thinking the same, it's going to be like on the base card, it's going to be their more modern appearance. And on the high series, it's going to be their kind of their origin picture, right? From like their first comic books and so forth.
Oh, cool. Is that what they did on X-Men Metal?
X-Men. So X-Men had that kind of parallel. It was maybe like 75% of the time that was the pattern. Sometimes they, it didn't really work, or they didn't do it that way for some reason. But when we spoke to them in the group, Upper Deck confirmed that was their desire for the theme of the set is to have that. And if you look at the pictures that we have here, you can see that the high series there has Mysterio in his original costume, and it's kind of like Mysterio classic Spider-Man 60s pose. Yeah. Very 60s. And then Silk in the base looks like a very modern version of Silk, which we know a collector will be very happy to see.
She's only been around about 10 years or so, isn't she? So she's fairly.
So it'd be cool. Yeah. It'd be cool to see her first appearance costume as a base appearance costume. They're very different, but should be really exciting to see.
It's cool. I know someone will be very happy about Silk being in this set. In fact, this has got character collectors written all over it, this set.
Oh, we're going to have to figure something out together.
Yeah, it's going to be carnage. So, and he'll be in there as well, of course.
Nice. Good pun.
So, hey, thank you. What I love about this is that the Planet Metal cards are back again.
Yes.
And so those are the similar to the Metallurgy and the Master of Magnetism from Flea Ultra X-Men. Those are going to be metal cards. And I think they were one of the nicest things from X-Men Metal Universe in terms of the quality and just the images that they chose for them. I think they were one of the most successful parts of the set.
Definitely one of the most.
Crazy thing about these is that there's tiers to them. So there's like 4 different variants, I think. And they show you, she's now called Ghost Spider, but she'll always be Spider-Gwen to me. And they've got copper, platinum, gold, metal cards, all featuring limited numbering. So all of those are numbered.
All of them.
Good.
Which is, except for the
base one. Which
the aluminum, I think it is, right?
Yeah. Aluminium. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Aluminium.
And that's a really nice image of Spider-Gwen on there. I mean,
I think it's lovely. You get to see her full face, which is really cool. I love seeing her with her mask too, but it's nice when you're collecting a character to have that variety. You don't want all your cards to look the same. And I don't think I've seen that art before. So it's pretty exciting.
No, it is good. So the one thing to say about this is that it's pretty likely, and from the pictures that you see in the preview, that it's not going to be original art. It will be
Metal. Metal will not be original art. Metal, just like X-Men Metal, will be comic book art. But the best part about comic book art is that you get to sometimes, depending on the variety they use in Upper Deck, you're going to see people like their characters like Tom McFarlane's Spider-Man type of thing. Like, you're going to see a lot of really cool comic artists pictures eventually come up on a card.
Yeah.
Which is a big thing, and people tend to overlook that sometimes, but I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, looking good. And PMGs, of course, back.
Yep. PMGs are back. The reds are going to be, so the greens are 1 through 10, and then the rest will be reds, and that'll be 11 to 100.
Yeah. So
which is how they're numbering them.
Hard numbered.
So, and only green and reds from what's going to be released physical.
Interesting.
That's pretty great. Yeah.
Interesting. I hope they get the coloring a bit more spot on now.
I hope so. They said they were going to fix that.
Yeah.
And they said they were going to, that it was a complete COVID pandemic kind of mishap type of thing, which I believe them. We spoke to them in the group, and they spoke to a lot of our group members.
Yeah.
And you can tell they were heartbroken by the reds not looking completely red, and, because they put a lot of work into this set. So I really honestly believe they'll fix it. And, my fingers are crossed. I'm really excited for that.
Well, the preview image of Silk looks very red.
Very red.
And it really pops on that background.
And I'm pretty sure that was purposeful. That makes that, you know what I mean? That has to be pretty purposeful. There are some other color parallels. They're not PMGs, just so everybody knows. There's a pink, which should be out of 75. An orange, which I don't know if orange was an X-Men. I thought it was gold that was an X-Men.
Wow.
So that might be something slightly different.
Pink.
Yeah, pink, orange, and turquoise FX. So, and they say orange will be serial numbered. So that's a little interesting.
Wow. Okay.
And a turquoise FX. That's interesting too.
One of one purple versions as well.
Yeah. So there's a gold FX parallel are 3 per hobby box. Grandiose versions are 2 per box, just like an X-Men. But then there's a pink, which is X-Men out of 75. So I'm assuming that's what it's carrying over. And then you have orange and turquoise FX parallels are all serial numbered. So 3 different colors, serial numbered. And then, of course, you have the one of one purple version. Now, the one of one purple versions were also in the X-Men metal set.
Wow. Okay. That's going to be interesting. This is okay. So this is already
a lot of cards.
This is already pretty meaty, this set. We're only on the second page. I just know from me being a black cat chaser, this is going to be a rough one.
This is going to suck.
This is going to be deep
for all of us. We're all going to be in on this one.
Oh yeah, we are. And meanwhile, people like Doctor Strange Archive are just going to be sitting there.
He might get screwed over.
He might. They might throw something in there for him, but I think he's still, bless him. I think Don's still chasing all the variant Black Diamond cards.
Okay, I feel for him. Every time he posts, I'm like, "Good job, man!" But at the same time, I'm like, "You poor soul."
Yeah, he's grafted at it. He's grafted, and it's amazing.
What a beast!
So what we got here? So Palladium are back.
Palladiums are back, and the one they're showing with Mary Jane Watson is looking dope.
It is looking so good. Die-cut Aztec cards with holographic foil accents, and there were 50 of them last time. They weren't serial numbered, despite
none of them were short print. Mm-hmm. None of them were serial numbered, even though people very deceptively were listing them as such. Yeah. I will say this, though, which is amazing, is that in the original X-Men set, the Palladiums were not die cut. They were simply a square.
That's right.
They were full card, transparency, and so forth.
Yeah.
But these Palladiums, in fact, are mimicking the same shape and die cut of the cards, similar to TI 22s from Fleer Retro 2013.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. People are going to dig that.
Yeah.
Good. That's going to be exciting.
And then we also have a Rogues Gallery, which is a transparent, thick acrylic cards featuring Spider-Man villains. Yeah, so this is different. I don't know if those will be numbered, short print, or anything, because that's not a parallel from metal. But the Rogues Gallery, that means it's Spider-Man villains. That means you could possibly have Venom and Carnage in that set. It looks good. The Lizard is featured. It's partly transparent.
This is going to be like the Fresnel cards. They're going to be like the Fresnel cards. So they're that thickness and sturdy. No, I think they'll be thick as like those
acrylic stock. You're right. It would be thick. You're right.
Wow. So not acetate. So it'll be thick. It'll have a good heft to it. And they'll look good. They'll look good up against the light. Not too dissimilar to the Flair stained glass either.
That's right. Those are pretty, by the way.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Those are great, pretty cards.
Palladium are 1 per hobby box. Okay. Not only are they done on acetate, but the die cards are die cut as well. So we've already talked about that. And then it doesn't say here how the rogue gallery.
How many rogue galleries are in a box?
We'll find out. It's buried in the detail, but it's kind of on different areas of the sheet.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that.
Well, the other one is the platinum. Sorry, portraits. Now these are pretty amazing inserts. Now we're not used to them as Marvel card collectors, but as sports collectors, these are very familiar cards. They have the portrait of the character on the card, but it's positioned on the card with dots. So these dots collectively make the image when you look at it far away. What people don't realize with these cards, not only are they extremely rare and interesting, but they're completely see-through.
Yes.
So when you look through the card, you look through the dots. It's very cool. You know, if you have, like, you put it in a top loader and you put like a red piece of construction paper on the back of the top loader, Spider-Man can be in red while the rest of the card can be in silver.
Oh, I like
which
that.
is a really cool idea. I know, which is really fun. So you can do a lot of cool things and display with this card, which I like a lot, but they're extremely difficult pools, but beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful
they're
pieces.
like pointillism, aren't they? That kind of.
There you go.
So yeah, I knew there was an ism word there.
Ism.
Now, so this is something I've never heard of, but apparently it's a thing that's been around in different sets. Z-Force. It says it makes the jump from 90s basketball to the Spider-Verse. Skybox Z-Force. And it's talking about Z-Force having Rave and Super Rave parallels, which is absolutely bonkers. You've also got Super Rave, Amazing Rave, and Gold Rave parallels, all feature limited numbering. So, so raving was something I did in the early 90s on copious amounts of
I don't love
amounts of amphetamines, but but this is not what they're talking about. That's the 90s. This is not something I'm familiar with, and I'm not sure how many of those there are.
So I lived next to a guy who was huge into sports, and he was like 2 years older than me, and he got a lot of cards when we were kids. And I remember seeing Z-Force cards, man, in the 90s. They're super pretty. So pretty is not the right word. They're very indicative of the decade. So they have a very raw, kind of cool look to them. That's probably one of the ones I'm like really, really excited about.
Yeah. Super Rave, Amazing Rave, and Gold Rave.
3 tiers of rarity on that. So that's going to...
Oh, my goodness me.
That's going to be hardcore.
Hang on. No,
and the ones they're showing a Dr. Octopus and we have Carnage, but Carnage null with a null symbol on him.
Yeah. They're very modern ones. Look, that's a very modern Dr. Octopus.
Very modern. Very cool and modern.
It's actually, I think there's Rave, Super Rave, Amazing Rave, and Gold Rave. So Rave are kind of the base Z-Force.
Oh, that's interesting.
So there's 4 different ones.
Wow. Wow.
So if you're a set builder, this is going to be a really, really, really tough set already.
Z-Force would be a cool set to build too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, 4 tiers. Wow. Okay. As you would expect, we have comic cuts. And these are looking. I have to say, these look like they're a step up on the design of the X-Men metal ones, which we weren't massively impressed with the card design on these. There's two different types here. They're pretty small on that site, so I'm kind of flicking between two because the images are a bit bigger here.
If I'm reading this right, it's kind of hard to have memorabilia cards for comic characters, but 2021 Skybox Marvel Meta Universe does have something similar. Amazing Fantasy 15 comic cuts. Now, I want everyone to put this in perspective. Amazing Fantasy 15 is how much as a complete book? Raw?
Oh, 5 figures. Easily. 5 figures.
So what you're seeing is a comic cut panels taken from that comic book. Now, we've talked about this on the show, and I've talked about it in my own thing as well. Comic cuts there's a possibility for comic cuts to be some of the most rarest and desirable collectibles out there because of the comic books they eventually would feature would no longer be around. Either they'd be completely graded or in museums. So eventually Amazing Fantasy 15 is no longer going to be available to a normal consumer at a certain price point. And here you get to have a piece of it in a card. And especially the one they've shown us, it's a tighter panel, and they probably did that so they can use more of the comic book in various cards. And here we see Spider-Man walking the city below a giant moon. One of the most famous panels.
They're small panels as well.
They're small panels compared to the other ones. Now you have those, but you also have Spider-Man comic cuts. I believe that's your girl featured next to Spidey, right?
Oh my goodness, I didn't spot that. Yeah, that's her arm and her midriff.
Swinging next to Spidey.
That looks good. That's from the Amazing Spider-Man 20. So yeah, that's the current run. So that's very recent.
Very cool. And there's also going to be creator autographs with the Spider-Man comic cuts, similar to X-Men. And those cards look great. Not a lot of people have been jumping on those, but they're very pretty.
They do
and
look
very
good.
Nice.
Yeah, they do look good. So looking at Amazing Fantasy, the cheapest one that you can, of course, they're all graded. There's nothing raw on eBay. The cheapest one you can buy is a free at about just over $40,000. And looking on sales, there's a graded 0.5 that just recently sold for $24,000. So
yeah, I would say that's a pretty special, pretty special card to pull.
Yeah, I'll say. I don't think there'll be that many of them.
I doubt. I mean, it has to be less than 50, less than 20.
Yeah. They'll have gotten as many as they can out of it. That's for sure. So
wow, and they're beautiful design. I will say this. I will say, I didn't like the comic cuts for metal because they felt, you know what I mean? It just didn't mesh well for me personally. Because what I like about comic cuts personally, it's kind of like a frame for a painting. It needs to not distract from the comic cut. You know what I mean? Like that for me, like, the Marvel 75th ones that I'm obsessed with. You know what I mean? That gold border and then the Marvel and gold at the bottom and it's completely white. I mean, hot.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I love those cards. And the Amazing Fantasy 15, simple, clean. The real thing that's the takeaway from there is the comic book. Yeah. Beautiful page from the comic book. I'd like to get one of those. I might get one of those for a little. I might get one. I don't know. I'm really into them.
You may pull one because I'm sure you'll get a box. I know I'll get a box.
I'm going to try to get one. Yeah. I'm going to desperately try to get one.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to this.
Me too. I'm psyched.
I tell you that the comic cuts I liked recently was the Marvel 80th, and they followed that design through onto Marvel Ages.
Oh, yes.
They're really clean. I mean, there's not much distraction, and they just let the cut sing. They just let the panel sing through. Which
I don't know. I just believe in cuts. And this is not, please don't be interested in cuts. Let them go cheap. That would make me very happy. But like, this is not pushing anything. I only own 2 or 3, but, I don't know, like coming from like, you know what I mean? Like I was just talking about this with somebody else on Instagram somewhere, I just feel like so much is Marvel sometimes mimicking sports inserts. You know what I mean? Like you don't really have like a Marvel insert. Something that's uniquely us. And I feel like comic cuts are that. They're uniquely Marvel card collector inserts. They're Marvel card inserts. They're special to that.
They absolutely are. And I think I know autographs are across all aspects of the hobby, but I think that creator autographs are really underappreciated.
Beautiful. Super underappreciated.
Especially the older ones where the people aren't around anymore. So,
man. I mean, how can you not? God, so ridiculous. So awesome.
We both feel the same about those. So
yeah.
So what else we got? Right. So we have, now this is interesting. There's all new Daily Bugle headlines booklet cards.
Mm-hmm.
So these clearly fold out. So when they're folded up, you get the Daily Bugle, the header, and it looks like it hinges across there, and then you kind of see the full front page. That looks to me like that's probably on the inside. the.
It's going to look like a newspaper.
Yeah,
like it's basically going to fold out to a newspaper, which is going to be so cool.
I mean, it's really cool. Let me just see if I can find a bigger picture of it. I mean, there's it folded out there. I like it. I like it a lot.
I love it.
Be interesting to see. Be interesting to see if you can read the text on there. I mean, I can't read it on the picture, but
I would hope you could read the text, and I would hope there's not a gap in the middle.
Yeah, where it folds. Yeah. Because of course
I don't know if it will or won't, but I'd be. I mean, honestly, I think it's very cool. So on the front of the card, like Ian said, you'd have. It looks like by this mock-up, which could change. It looks like you get the portrait of your character on the front of the booklet. And then when you open it up, you see the full body, like the full picture. Yeah. I don't know what's on the back, but it's probably going to be, like Upper Deck stamp and maybe like. Yeah,
there'll be the back of just the bottom half there would be just congratulations, you have pulled.
Congratulations. Yeah, I think you're right.
That kind of thing.
That's beautiful.
Maybe, assuming it's a hit. I don't know. Who knows?
It looks awesome.
I'm really excited about these, not least of which because they've used Spider-Ham as their image. They've got Skyscraper Shadow Box cards. Now, there is some text on this. Here we go.
Yes.
That kind of gives you an idea of what it is. Skyscraper Shadow Box card providing both layers and depth with its design. So they're going to be thick for a start.
Yep.
I like the perspective of the skyscraper on the border there
a lot,
but you can see that goes into the design on the panel there. You can just about kind of get a sense of that. They're going to be really cool. I think
the depth on these should be really strong. There's another example, like if you scroll down, Ian, you'll see. You got to go to the Cardboard Connection one. We'll do that after. But they show another character on the shadow box thing other than Peter Porker.
Peter Porker. Here we go. Cardboard Connection.
Yeah, if you go, So on Cardboard Connection, if you guys go all the way down to the bottom of the page, on Cardboard Connection, you're going to go ahead and see that they listed a couple more pictures they didn't use for the article.
So much
God, they look good. They look good.
They're just bigger. They've just reproduced them in a bigger way. Okay. Yes. Right.
There you go. You see her up there next to Lizard.
Yes. Who's this? Spider Girl. Oh wow, that looks wonderful. Okay.
Doesn't that look cool? Yeah. So it looks like Yeah, we'll put this in. Yeah, thank you. If you see so what's really cool is that if you look at the Spidey Ham, that's not always going to be the same city in every card. So each character, so each character will have a different cityscape behind them. It looks like, I'm guessing. But what's cool about that is that you're going to get different types of perspective and light and stuff, and it's going to be looking really cool, I think.
Yes. Sorry.
I love it. No, I'm with you. I feel like you're Meg Ryan in a diner right now.
Oh,
Billy Crystal.
Meg. Katz's Diner, East Houston Street, New York. So, box hits.
All right, here we go. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this guy.
Right, on average in a box, 3 gold FX parallels. I hope they're slightly better to tell than the last lot.
Same. And that's the same as X-Men, so people know.
1 numbered base or high series. What does it mean by numbered base? Is that those parallels? Yeah, those are the right. Those
so
are the
that
FX
means you'll get
parallels,
1 high series, 1 base card that would be paralleled, and it would probably be either one of those pinks, golds, or turquoise.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, those are the FX ones. Great. Okay.
Right.
2 grandiose parallels. I liked the grandiose a lot.
The grandiose looks good, and the ones I think that's the grandiose they're showing on this picture is the Miles Morales.
Ah, yes.
I think that's the grandiose. So the grandiose in X-Men was very wavy, and this grandiose here looks very much like a combination of many webs. Yeah, and they have that purplish, pinkish, orange thing. That we saw in X-Men.
That looks nice. That the foiling behind that character,
it looks clean. I like
nice.
It.
They remind me of the raw foil effect on Flare Ultra Spider-Man.
Those are so nice. Those are really so nice. Undervalued.
Yeah, they're lovely.
They're lovely. So cool.
And then 1 Palladium card, and then Chase Hits, which may be renamed as Case Hits. Who knows? 1 of 1 base or high series purple parallel. Platinum Portrait. Skyscraper Shadow Box SSP, it says next to it.
Wow.
So are they
super short
all?
print.
Wow. Okay. Amazing Fantasy 15 comic cuts, autographed comic cuts. I'm assuming we've got regular comic cuts in there, although they're not listed. Planet Metal Gold Parallel, 1 of 1 X-Force Super Rave, original art sketch cards. So, of course, sketch cards are there. Have we seen any images of the sketch cards?
Examples? No.
No, it's not in this solicitation. So who knows?
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. Let me just quickly triple check what Cardboard Connection said about the breakdown. It's pretty much exactly the same. So there we go. 6 cards.
They did call it a case hit, not a chase hit.
Yes.
So I think that's important to know, because if you buy, more and more what it's looking like for modern Marvel card collectors is, if you're looking for those big hits, you're looking at buying a case.
Yeah.
It's risky and it's a lot of money, but the case stuff does have some guarantees that a box normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's starting to make more and more sense to me as a collector.
I think
not that I, can afford a case, but I do think it makes more sense if you're going for a high item.
Yeah.
And you want to risk it.
It's a big set. So
it's a big set. So this might actually be bigger than X-Men Metal, because I'm seeing more inserts here, right, Ian?
You've got the Rave. Yeah, the Rave adds a whole. I mean, I don't know how many Rave there are, but there's 4 parallels to them. So straight away, let's assume there's 50 Rave cards.
Yeah.
So if you're chasing all of those, that's 200 cards. Just those. And then, with the base, and obviously then you've got Gold Effects parallels, turquoise.
Planet Metal,
you've got 4 different tiers of those. I can't remember how many Planet Metals there were on.
I think the gold was out of 15.
Okay. No, just in terms of the number of different characters and cards.
I think there was like 20 or 30.
Yeah, so 20 or 30, where you can do the maths. That's 120 of those if you're going for everything. If you're going for a mass set on this, it's going to be a tough and based on what we're seeing here, quite a rewarding chase. 6 cards per pack, 12 packs per box, 12 boxes per case. So
that's amazing.
Expect it November or December. I mean, so far the price. I did see a comment from Ed Webb of Sci-Fi Cards that the price that's come out so far is much higher than the early solicitation price for X-Men Metal Universe.
I think it is. Yeah, I think judging by the size and the amount of rares, especially with that Amazing Fantasy 15 comic cut, I'm not surprised that the price would be at a higher price point. And when we did speak to Upper Deck, or when they spoke to our group more specifically, they did admit to seeing that X-Men Metal they didn't want X-Men Metal to be at the same tier level as Fleer Ultra Spider-Man or Fleer Ultra X-Men. They were hoping it to be a little bit lower, but because demand was so great on X-Men Metal and people were so excited about it, it looks like the gold's out of 25 this time. So that's how they did some
the Planet Metal. Yeah.
The Planet Metal. Interesting. Yeah. So it looks like what they did was they took Spider-Man Metal and they said, you know what, Spider-Man Metal, we need to bring it up to the level of Fleer Ultra. So they put some more money into it. And that's why some of the chases seem a little more higher end, even though I thought X-Men Metal has some pretty great chases. I thought there were some pretty cool things in there.
Absolutely. I tell you what intrigues me about X-Men Metal is I'm intrigued to know what direction they go in terms of the EPAC, potentially another achievement level.
That's what I want to see.
Potentially another parallel level. The achievements will be interesting. And the other thing is, I've got this. I've finally got I'm looking around for it because it's here somewhere, the buyback. And that's the interesting missing element for me on this, is that there are no buybacks.
They didn't do buybacks. I'm not surprised.
They've kind of done it.
Wait a minute. Maybe this is the same size as X-Men Metal now because they took out the buybacks.
Oh, okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of buybacks out of 10, and each one was out of 10. So I'm imagining the raves and the inclusion of maybe 1 or 2 things might balance out how big this set is according to X-Men. So they might actually be the same size.
Possibly.
Roughly.
There's a lot. Roughly. I mean, there's a lot out there. That's for sure. I'm excited. I'm
looking forward to this
getting
hard.
A box. Looking forward to getting a box. Now, one thing I will say, before we'll quickly talk about our artist intro, and then we will beat a path for the hills. But couple of things. While we're talking about all things metal, we just happened, Norin, to have a spare box of X-Men Metal Universe.
That's right, we do.
That we are going to give away to one lucky person via our Instagram. So keep an eye on our Instagram. The day this drops, we will put live another comment, like, and kind of tag to enter thing. And we'll probably leave it up probably for a week, maybe. Like we did
I
last
think a
time,
week's fair.
Episode 100.
Fair.
And it'll be a comment, and then we'll do a live Instagram TV, and we'll pick a winner. I would ask that it's one entry per person, and that people don't get loads of their mates.
And we will double check.
And we will
be double checking.
Because that did happen last time.
Yeah. And if, I think this time around, if there are some double entries and some trickery going on, we might just.
Yeah. If I see your friend's wife's dog's cleaner, who's got no interest whatsoever in Marvel cards, entering to win, we will potentially dismiss that entry. Anyway, that aside, once that's run, it will be mailed anywhere in the world.
Anywhere
in the world. So, if you're in Timbuktu or if you're in downtown Toronto, you could win that box, and it will be mailed to you. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I want to show you a mail call that I had, and I know you've seen this because I put it onto mail call. I put it onto Instagram. This is me done on Marvel X-Men Metal Universe. This is me done. One card. And
you're done.
Buy back, baby.
Buy back, baby.
So this is from Marvel Metal 95, the buyback of Black Cat. And first of all, regardless of the fact that it's a buyback, let's just remind ourselves how good the quality was on Marvel Metal 95.
Oh my gosh, they killed it.
Just look at that card.
You remember the boxes they came in, right? Old. Premium.
I don't think I've got any packaging from Marvel Metal in 95.
Oh, it was cool.
Yeah, you're thinking of Flair with the boxes?
No, I was thinking of Metal. Come on.
Did Metal happen?
You're crazy.
Seriously, I don't know. I've got no idea. Anyway, who knows?
No. But that's the Omega, by the way.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
Amazing.
So what I've got here, I've got the buyback, and it's Omega stamp 10 of 10. And what I really like is the X-Men Metal Universe foil on the back.
Oh, look at that lusciousness.
It's beautiful. It's one of the nicest buybacks I think I've ever seen. So these are limited to 10, and some, I'm not sure how much they're actually selling for, but I know a lot of people listed them.
Prices have been everywhere, but they're not cheap, and they shouldn't be. I mean, it's cheap. A 10 of 10. I mean, they shouldn't be. They're beautiful,
but not many have actually appeared. So I think a lot of them will come through EPAC.
Oh yeah,
we've not actually seen that many out there.
You're gonna see quite a few things pop up on EPAC, which will be interesting to see. And pretty exciting, but you killed it getting that.
I'm absolutely stoked, and it's the only one I've seen out there.
I've never seen one. Yeah.
Let's briefly talk about our intro artist for this episode. Am I still sharing screen? I don't think I am. I'm going to share screen again so we can ooh and ah over his works. CLEBER SOUZA LIMA, which is a brilliant name.
That's an awesome name.
Now, he first came to my attention from Marvel Masterpieces. And there's a couple of guys in the group that specifically chase after his stuff. If I remember correctly, I think there's an Australian collector called Jonathan Cohen's. Cohen's? And he's a lovely fella. And I think he was specifically going after this artist as well. I'm just trying to find if I can find. No, I can't find it. Anyway, first of all, can I just say,
awesome.
He's got a tremendous beard.
Yeah, his beard makes my beard look like crap.
This
guy's next level.
Most people's beards look like crap. I mean, look at that. I mean, this is
sexiness.
I mean, look at it. He's got multiple angles on his Instagram feed. Forget his art.
He knows what he has.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing.
He's a beard player.
That guy.
Now you can find him on Instagram. We'll put this in the tasting notes under Kleber, which is CLEBER _S _Lima LIMA.
I love this pencil work. Wow,
yeah, these are really nice. Let me scroll down. Is that Thanos?
Thanos, baby.
Look at that. Oh, that's him chilling after he's killed half the universe.
Snap.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yep.
I'm not sure if that's a card or if that's a bigger piece. I think that might be a bigger piece.
Might be a bigger piece. I don't think that's a card.
But it
looks much bigger.
It is. Oh. Wow. Is that Spawn? Yeah, it is Spawn.
He knows what to do with Spawn, that's for sure.
Look at that perspective. I love it.
Good stuff.
It's that Ghost Rider cat. Oh.
Very cool.
Again, it's his perspective within the card that I like. So if you look, that's kind of
shading,
straight level. And then when you move up, the perspective obviously changes as you move up through the card, through the piece rather. Let's scroll down to have a look at some of his cards. See, look, there's the beard in its early days, and then it's growing, and then it's growing. You can actually track the history of his beard through his Instagram people.
He has great videos too of in progress work. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Right.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go. So Marvel Masterpieces 20, artist proof. Now these are the first color pieces we've seen on this Instagram feed because obviously
I've seen that Thanos. I was wondering who did that. Okay.
Yeah, that's a nice gambit. I like it. They're very 90s in terms of the style and the coloring. I like that.
Very 90s. The colors are bold, bright. I mean, that's awesome.
Let's just go for it. Oh.
Very cool.
I'm just going to scroll down because he's done some Rick and Morty as well. Which I've Rick and Morty just confuses me. I don't know it at all. I can't find any other Marvel cards on this. Oh, hang on. What's this?
A stack of goodness.
Oh my goodness me! What's that? Oh, that's got to be Masterpieces. Yeah, look at that. There's a shot, and he's from Brazil, Sao Paulo. He's got a shot on his Instagram of literally more than a fistful because it's bigger than his hand of cards that he's just inked.
Wow,
with no color yet. He goes, let's put the color.
There looks like he did 50 for the set. I mean, there's a good handful there. 50,
yeah. So yeah, I like his work. Got a lot of time for him. He's a nice fella. And yeah,
so happy that he was able to give us an intro. This is so cool to see. He worked on the Punisher
as well.
Wow, his color's awesome.
I love the background on that Punisher. There.
Everything's awesome. His penciling, his ink, it's all really, really clean.
No, it's cool. It's really cool. I love it.
Wow.
Right.
Thank you so much, my friend. It's so cool to see that work.
Thank you.
Beautiful pieces.
I think it's Kleber, actually. I don't think it's Kleber. I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. I have a feeling it's Kleber. You'll have heard it pronounced correctly by the man himself at the top of the episode. So if I have butchered your name, sir, I apologize. That's it. Spider-Man Metal Universe. I'm looking forward to
Spider-Man Metal Universe. I hope you guys are excited. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy.
Get to our Instagram feed. Once this episode drops, the competition will be up for a week. This episode should drop. Where are we now? This episode should drop on the 2nd of September, which means that the competition will be up on Instagram between the 2nd and the 9th of September.
And remember, folks, this is a box, a full box, sealed box, X-Men metal delivered to you anywhere in the world so you yourself can enjoy collecting.
Thanks for listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast. Visuals and tasting notes for each episode can be found on our Facebook page. You can subscribe and leave us a voicemail via our home on anchor.fm/MCCP. We're also on iTunes, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms. Please take a second to subscribe, like, and review our show wherever you get your podcasts. Our podcast can be found by Googling at the MCC Pod, which will also find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Our Facebook community is at MCCW, Marvel Card Collectors Worldwide, and MMC, Marvel Masterpieces Collectors. The great music we use is called Rocket Power by Kevin MacLeod. Thanks to the collectors, artists, and creators who support the Marvel Cards Fan Collective. We'll see you next time, and remember, it's a small hobby but a fun one. Make mine Marvel and enjoy collecting.